Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye. Chaitanyam Sarvagam Sarvam Sarvabhuta Guhashayam Yat Sarva Vishayatitam Tasmai Sarva Vide Namaha. Bhāhyākāratvato jñaptehe Srutyabhavasadakṣanād Kṣanigatvaca samskaram Naivādhatte kvacit tudhihi Ādhārasyaapya sattvaca Tulyata nirnimittatah Sthaneva kṣanikattvasya Hānam syānnata dishyate. So here the teacher is refuting the positions of the Kshanika Vijñānis. All the Bauddhas are Kshanikavadis, meaning they accept Kshanikatvam or momentariness of everything. So there are two aspects that the Vedantin points out to them. That according to you, the objects also are Kshanika momentarily, subject also are Kshanika. In that case, two experiences cannot be explained. One is called smriti or memory, it's called pratyabhijñā or recognition. Smriti requires that an experience leaves its samskara or impressions upon an ashraya, upon a locus. And number one. Number two, the one who remembers should be the one who had the experience. So, ya smritihi sa anubhava purvika, a smriti or a memory should always be preceded by experience on the part of the same person, where the previous experiences left samskara, the impressions on a locus, which is available to the one who remembers. So, this is what is required for Shruti, Smriti. So, Bhāhyākāratvato jñaptehe smriti abhāvah sadakṣanāt. Jñaptehe bhāhyākāratvatah. See, according to you, the Vaibhāshika accepts, of course, the pratyaksha or the perception of the objects. But then also objects are said to be momentary, The consciousness which illumines the objects also is momentary. And the drashta, the subject who experiences the object, also is momentary. It's all momentary. Now, bhāśyākāra tato jnapte, that jnapti, or jnanam, or consciousness, when does perception, they accept pratyaksha. The school of thought Vaibhashika accept pratyaksha. When can pratyaksha, perception take place? When the consciousness assumes the form of the object, that is when the perception can take place. In which case, the consciousness should have contact with the object. Now here it is said that the object is momentary, consciousness also is momentary, and therefore contact between the two is not possible. Bhāśyavastu ākāra prasangādityatha. So this is how bhāśyavastu ākāra, consciousness, jnapti, should take the ākāra, the form of bhāśyavastu, the external object. Jnayasya utpattehe prāk tāvat jnana sambandhona. So jnana sambandha should take place. Sambandha, the association of jnanam, consciousness, should take place with that jnaya, the object of knowledge. Jnayasya utpattehe prāk. Since the jnaya, the object of knowledge, also is momentary, it is not present before its creation. Every moment it gets created. And therefore, the jnaya, the object, which is not yet there before its creation, cannot have the sambandha or contact with the consciousness because not there. Utpannasya swarasabhanguratvat karmakarakata jnanat pragavasthan abhavat. Jnanat pragavasthan. The jnana, the object, must be there before jnanam, for the jnanam to contact. But since this jnana, the object, also is swarasabhangura, meaning that it is momentary, every moment it is perishing or getting destroyed. Therefore, it cannot be present before the jnanam. For jnanam or consciousness to contact jnana, the object, jnana must be there. And that jnana cannot be there before jnana because jnana also every moment, it is the earlier jnana moment has already died and therefore there is nothing there. Therefore, this jnana cannot be there before the occurrence of the consciousness. So jnanat pragavastha must be there. For this object to come in contact with the consciousness, it will be present when the consciousness comes in contact. So there is therefore pragavasthanam, meaning that the earlier or the avasthanam, existence was there, prior existence was there on this object before consciousness. So it must be there, it must exist prior to consciousness. But itself is momentary, dying every moment, therefore it cannot be. So pratyaksha, now you cannot explain perception because of kshanikatvam of the jnayam and kshanikatvam of the jnanam. There cannot be association between them because one must be there before the other one for the contact to take place. Either jnanam should be there and then jnana can come, then contact can be there. Or jnayam should be there and then jnanam can come, then the contact can be there. So both are momentary, they cannot connect with each other, but pratyaksha cannot take. So you can't explain perception with momentariness. When pratyaksha cannot be established, anumanam, which is based on pratyaksha, also cannot be established. So nitya anumayatva kalpana anupattesya. So that's how the other ones, the Sautrantika is dismissed, by dismissing the Vaibhashika. Parisheshat jnayasya vākāro viṣayadi vijñānamātra sthittvādi mata praveshaha. Therefore, we cannot accept an object different from the consciousness. All that is, you come back to now, vijñānavāda, because subjective is that It's vijnana that appears as the object. Consciousness alone appears as object, not that it is an object and consciousness illumines that, no. So they accept the existence of external objects, but that cannot be explained with momentariness. So Vijnanavadi says it is Vijnanam, consciousness, that alone appears as the object. Now, Kincha Anubhavitopi te mate kshanikatvat. According to this mata, Anubhavakarta or experiencer also is momentary. Experience is momentary, consciousness is momentary, the object is momentary. So, now I one momentary consciousness, the subject that experiences the object is not present in the next moment, and therefore who can have memory? For memory there should be continuity of experiencer, because it cannot be that one experiencer remembers what was experienced by another experiencer. So anyanubhute anyasya smriti adarshanahat. So because the experiencer also is momentary, the experiencer coming next moment cannot have memory of the experience that took place in the first experiencer, and therefore, so pratyaksha cannot explain, anumana cannot be explained, smriti also cannot be explained. Pratyaksha because both object and conscious are momentary, and smriti because the experiencer is momentary. Kshanat kshanikatvat sada smriti abhava prasajyeta. Therefore, because anubhava karta also is kshanika, therefore you can't explain smriti. Further, smriti hetu samskaropite durlabha. Now all that experience should leave samskara or impression upon a locus. So that samskara also is durlabha, that samskara of, so experience took place, but samskara cannot take place. Samskara, there is no place where the samskara can be implanted. Kshanikatvacha samskaram naivadatte kvachit tudhihi. Dhi kvachidapi. Kvachit at no place. Samskaram naivadatte na nikshipati. So, now what they explain is how does memory take place is that the first moment transfers the samskara to the next moment. How can it be? If each moment is independent, they have no connection with each other, there is no continuity. So how can even buddhi, so how can the first moment transmit the samskara to the next moment? For the samskara to be there for memory. So dihi kvachidevi samskaram nivadatte. Buddhi also cannot remain, cannot transfer its samskara anywhere. Sarvasya kshanikatvad. And so samskara, even they claim that it's samskara because of which the memory is there, recognized. But how can samskara be passed on? How can buddhi with this momentary buddhi with this samskara transmit the samskara to the next moment when there is no connection? Cha shabdat na swatmanyapi, nor can buddhi pass on samskara to atma. Buddhi cannot pass on samskara to buddhi, which is momentary, nor can buddhi pass on samskara to atma, which is also momentary. So this momentariness will create problem of explaining pratyaksha and the anumana as well as smriti. So this verse 20, kvachittu. So kvachit iti uktam sphudayati. Nowhere can it actually place a samskara. Adarasyapi sattvacha tulyata nirnimittatah. This first goes to the first one. Adarasyapi asatvacha. Yatra samskara adhatavya. Atmantakarneva. Where the samskara has to be planted, either atma or antakarna, tasyapi adharasya samskar adhana kale asatvat. When the experience takes place, the next moment is not yet there, which is Atma or Buddhi, and therefore where will that samskara actually be planted? Because the adhara, the local samskara is not yet there. Never smruti abhava. Now next is the recognition. Pratyabhijna, that also cannot be explained. Yaduktam sadhushya nibandhano brahma eva pratyabhijnanameti. So the Buddha says that pratyabhijna, recognition, is only a notion on your part, because there is no, how can you recognize when there is no continuity? How do you feel that they are same substance, same person, same entity? So, sadhushatvat, that was the reason given, that the next moment is very similar to the first moment, therefore you cannot distinguish the difference between them, and you think that it's the same moment, the same entity, whereas it's not the same entity. You cannot enter the same river twice, they say. That's what Buddha also said. Every moment the water is changing. You think that you are entering same river, you are not. And so, tad dushayati, that because the river is similar to previous river, therefore you think it's the same river. So, tulyata nirnimittatah. There is no nimitta for tulyata or sadhusya to be there. Accepting your position that there is similarity between previous moment, next moment, therefore you cannot see, you think that it's the same. So two similar things are taken to be same, that is why the notion of recognition happens. But what is the reason why the next moment should be similar to first moment? Why should it be? You claim, but what's the reason? Nirnimittatah, there is no nimitta which will cause sadrushya or similarity. Tulyatayaha purvaparakshayo sadushvattvasya nimitta bhavat. The aparakshana and purva, the next moment, the previous moment are similar. There must be some reason for that similarity. That's called nimitta. Gunaihi avayirva samanyam sadhushvihara nimittam. In the day-to-day life we find that two things are similar when the guna qualities are similar, avayava, the form, etc. is similar. Tad vijnananam nasti, consciousness doesn't have a form, doesn't have quality. And therefore, what would assure that next moment is similar to first moment, because that guna and avayava, which are the nimitta for sadhusya similarity, are not there. And therefore, there cannot be sadhusya, cannot be explained. Tatha, further, purvottarakshaнаyoho drashtu ekasya asatvacha. So not only there is sadhusya, you cannot explain sadhusya in consciousness and say that you have experienced the same thing, but experience also is changing. Purvottarakshaнаyoho drashtu ekasya asatvacha. So what is experience also, the similarity cannot explain, and experience also keeps on momentarily changing. And therefore, who will determine the sadhusya? That what I see now is similar to what I saw earlier. But what the one fellow saw earlier a moment ago is not there, who will determine sadhusya? So sadhusya cannot be there because there is no nimitta for sadhusya. And sadhusya cannot be established. There is nobody who knows that sadhusya, because that fellow is changing every moment. So for sadhusya, you must see earlier moment and next moment, then you can say they are similar. But the one who can make that node itself, himself is changing. Atah tulyataya siddhe. So tulyata or sadhusya cannot be established because of momentariness of the object and consciousness and momentariness of subject also. Tan nibandhanam pratyabhijnanam na siddham. Therefore, pratyabhijnanam, recognition also cannot be explained. You say it's Brahma because sadhusya, but sadhusya can't be explained. So therefore, with this position of momentariness, first problem was pratyaksha, how can there be perception, and therefore anumanam. Second problem was how can there be memory, and third problem is how can there be recognition when sadhusya can be established. No, in case you say that you were there previous moment and now you see that is similar, then you would accept this subject being previous moment. In that case, subject becomes non-momentary. And that being the case, sadhusham can't be explained, recognition cannot be explained. Now continuing with verse 27. Yattu kshanikattvadi bhavanaya sthayittvadi bhranti shanti mukti iti. If you go to verse 23, what said there is, second line, sadhushat deepavattadhihi tashanti purushartata. Sadhushat deepavattadhihi. Tadhihi. That same object is there now. They say it is not same object, similar object, and therefore you have the notion the same object, you think that you are remembering the same object, recognizing the same object. And therefore, this whole notion of continuity, the whole is Brahma. So, tat shanti purushartata, therefore becoming free from Brahma. And Brahma is always aviveka, product of ignorance. So Brahma can go, Brahma means aviveka, it can go when viveka takes place. Therefore, by viveka, recognizing there is no such thing as continuity. All there is momentariness. That knowledge brings about all the shanta purushartata. Shanti means the cessation of the notion of sameness, cessation of notion of continuity is the purushartha, is a goal to be achieved. Apparently that will release you from all this pain, etc. Alright, so let's see. Now you say that cessation of the notion of steadiness, notion of continuity. So then yattu kshanikattvadi bhavanaya. So what is the sadhanam? For becoming free from the notion of continuity, what is sadhanam? Kshanikattvadi bhavana. Bhavana. Maintaining this attitude or meditating, contemplate kshanikatva is the reality. Kshanikatvam alone is truth, continuity is not the truth. So whatever you see, have the bhavana, recognize. Make yourself see that this kshanikam, everything kshanikam, including myself. So you have Brahma bhavana here. There they have kshanikatva bhavana. So when this bhavana will get established in the mind, then the notion of continuity will go away and then you will attain the purushartha. So let us see whether the cessation of the notion of momentariness, steadiness, is it necessary? So kshanikattvadi bhavanaya sthayittvadi bhranti shanti, cessation of bhranti, of sthayitva, of continuity, by all the time seeing kshanikatvam is mukti uchyate. So the sadhana is given and sadhya is that mukti. Buddhi tadapi na upadyate. That also cannot be logically explained. That you require to do something for the Brahma to go. For kshanikatvam to be established, you need to do something. Even that is also not there. So the next one says, Shantescha yatna siddhatvad sadhanoktiranarthika ekaikasmin samaptatvad shanteranyanapeksata. Shante cha ayatna siddhatvat. All there is kshanikam. When next moment also the previous entity is not there, so what do you want to achieve? Because even if you say that this is all kshanikam, that also is kshanika, understand that. That being case, kshanikatvam is a fact. So you don't have to accomplish the kshanikatvam. If you say that everything is momentary, but that bhavana also is momentary. So momentariness is what is already there. So what do you need to do for bringing momentariness or kshanikatvam? Kshanikatvam alone is there. Without your effort, what is the kshanikatvam? You don't need any sadhanam to arrive at kshanikatvam. You are also kshanika. Ayatna siddhatvat. So that bhranti shanti, the cessation of bhranti, of continuity, is asiddhatvat, is already there without your having to do anything. Next moment that is not there. Sadhanokti anarthika. Therefore, to say that a sadhana is required, kshanikattvadi bhavana is a sadhanam. Meditating upon kshanikatvam is a sadhanam, but it's already accomplished, and therefore you don't need sadhanam. Therefore the purusha is already achieved. If that is your purushartha. Shantehe ayatna siddham sadhayati. Shanti, cessation of that bhranti, ayatna siddha, is accomplished without an effort. Sadhayati explains here with all the reasoning. Next line, ekaikasmin samaptau shante anya anapekshata. Ekaikasmin samaptau samaptatvat shantehe anya anapekshata. Ekaikasmin samaptatvat says bhavanam ekaikasmin sanekshane samaptatvat. Now you have the notion that there is bhava are continuous. And therefore, maybe meditate upon the moment into the bhava to become free from that notion of continuity. But then bhavanam ekaikasmin samaptatvat. That bhava is gone, samapta, is dead or gone every moment. Now, if Vedantin is asking, where is this? Where is the notion of continuity? How can there be notion of continuity? Because every moment the bhava, meaning an entity or existence, comes to an end every moment. So how do you talk of continuity? Where is continuity? Because first moment is not connected to the next moment. So santanam means a series of same thing continuing. That's called santanam. Santati, santata means continuous. So santanam is continuity. That the santanam can't be explained. When everything is momentary, when a given thing is not there, therefore how can there be even a flow? So according to you, everything is kshanikam, there can't be something called flow. So says here, that's santanam avastutvat. There cannot be santanam, and therefore there cannot be brahma of santanam, you follow? If there is continuity, then there can be brahma of continuity. But they explain continuity by saying that the next moment is similar to the first moment, so that sadrusha creates the notion of continuity. We just explained that sadrusha itself can't be explained. So continuity can't be explained. So the Brahma of continuity cannot be there. There is no problem to solve. Santana, it is very important. Santana is avastutvat. The notion of santanam, continuity can be there, provided the appearance of continuity must be there for you to think it is real. Continuity can't appear. Because when one moment is gone, second moment is not there, and there is nothing to connect between them, there is no similarity also. Therefore, there cannot be an appearance of continuity. For Kshanikatvam, appearance of continuity also cannot be there. The notion of continuity cannot be there. So what problem I want to solve? Ayatna siddhatvat. So cessation of continuity is already siddha without an effort. So what sadhanam do you need? Ekekasminscha bhranti abhavat. See, bhranti can be there when there is a continuity, which they say is appearance because of sadrushya. But we establish sadrushya cannot be there. There can't be an appearance of continuity also. In one moment there cannot be idea of continuity. Ekekasmincha bhranti abhavat. Every moment is different. Is that therefore there is no continuity? It's like quantum. It's a jump. So without continuity there is jump. And therefore, how can there be, in one moment there cannot be bhranti. Bhranti can be there if there are many moments which are similar, but bhranti itself cannot arise. Shante anya nirapekshada siddha. So shante anya anapekshada, anya nirapekshada, anya anapekshada. Shanti does not require anything else for any sadhanam because according to what you say, there cannot be even appearance of continuity. For the Brahma or notion of continuity to arise, there should be an appearance of continuity. When can there be appearance of continuity? When one moment is similar to sadrusha is taken by you, he says, what is there is similarity? And you have notion of continuity. Which is similarity also cannot be there. And therefore no kind of santanam, no kind of flow can be there at all. Therefore the notion of continuity cannot arise. Therefore, anya anapeksha, therefore the shanti or cessation of notion does not require any sadhanam at all because it's not there, that notion cannot arise. Atah tat sadhana vidhanokte nirvakasha, ukti nirvakasha iti. Therefore, to say that you require sadhanam, kshanikatva bhavana you require for cessation of that notion, but then that notion cannot arise because even continuity, there cannot be even appearance of continuity. There is no sadhusham. Therefore, what are you talking about? See how one after the other things are analyzed in a very subtle manner and each one is dismissed here. All right. Kinche asmin lokepi asmin mate lokepi sadhisaro na ghatate. Not only there is no question of sadhana means for the attain of shanti, which is sadhya, that's a spiritual thing. But in the day-to-day life also we experience karya karana bhava. Now, lokepi, that we experience that clay is the cause, pot is the effect, clay is karanam, pot is karyam, so karya, karana bhava, sadhya, sadhana bhava. Whole vyavahara is based on that. The vyavahara is based on sadhya sadhana, you did this and that's what happened, I did, that's either cause and effect, or because you boiled that, this got cooked. So everywhere, whether we note or not, everywhere the sadhya sadhana, karya karana bhava is involved. Otherwise there can't be life. And you can't predict the next moment unless the karya karana bhava is not there. That we release something from it, it will fall down. That karana and karya must be there, otherwise vyavahara is not possible. We find that karya karana is a reality in vyavahara. Na ghatate, even that also cannot be explained with this momentariness. So Vyavahara also can't be arrived at. So next one says, Apeksha yadi bhinnepi parasantana ishyadam sarvarthe kshanike kasmin tatapyanyana Yadi bhinne bhi apeksha. Now every moment, understand, is different from every other moment. So the moment that is called karanam is bhinna, meaning totally distinct from the moment that is called karya. You follow? What precedes is called karanam, which follows is karanam. Now only when there is a connection between them that there can be karya karana bhava. Between pot and this glass case, there can't be karya karana bhava. There is nothing to connect them. So bhinnepi, that's called bheda. Idi bhinnepi. The next moment is bhinna, meaning totally distinct from the first moment. And still if you want to establish karya karana bhava, that first moment becomes karanam for the second moment, which has no connection. So without any connection, if these two entities can have the karya karana bhava or the cause and effect relationship, then parasantane vishyadam, anything can become cause and anything can become effect. A simpler example is asad, these Vaisheshikas, for Aramavadinaha. They say that the karya is not present in karanam. They say that the pot is not there in clay. That a pot non-existent in clay is created when you create the pot. There is arambha or beginning of this pot. Then we say that if there is no need for the effect to be there in the cause, without the pot being there in the clay, if the pot can be created, why can't idli be created? Everything is absent. If absent thing can be created, then what's the reason why you go for clay when you want to create pot? You go for batter, you want to create idli. You want to crave for dough and flour if you want to create rotli. You go for specific upadanam. If you say that this is independent, no connection with this, there is no connection with karya karana, anything can become karana for anything. So says, bhinne apeksha edi bhinnepi, that's what Tikakara explains. Karya karana lakshanam atyanta vilakshanatvat. Because for momentariness, it is important to understand that the first moment is completely gone for the next moment to come. Otherwise there will be if there is some continuity, there is no relation between them, no connection between them. Karya karana lakshananam atyanta vilakshanatvat. So karya is atyanta vilakshanam from karanam and vice versa. Bhinnepi, when they are totally bhinna, different. Atyandam vyavrittepi, when they are totally different from each other, they exclude each other, meaning that there is no causeness in effect, there is no effectness in cause. Atyanta bhinnepi, vyavrittepi. Cause excludes the effect excludes the cause. Kshiredi dadnopeksha. So bhinnepi. Now kshirepi dadnapeksha. For dadhi or curd, you have apeksha of kshira or milk. You really reach out for a milk in order to create curd. So that means there is santati called in milk. There is santati called kshiram, other santati called dadhi. From kshira santati, dadhi santati comes. For them everything is santati. So kshira santati, for dadhi santati, you reach out for kshira santati, and that's what we do in Vyavahara. We don't accept santati, we accept only kshira and dadhi. But anyway, But if this Kshira Santati is totally different from Dadi Santati, there is no relationship then. Parasantane, then you can go for any other Santati. Sikatadav, then you can create the Dadi from even sand also. Because you don't need any connection between them, so anything can give rise to anything. Sikatadavi dadna apekshyatam apekshyatam, sorry. So dadnaha apekshyatam sikatadavi. In sikata, meaning in the sand also, there can be expectation that this will give rise to current. Why? Atyanta Veda Avisheshat. See, between sand and Dadi, there is no similar. Atyanta Veda is there. Now, according to you, first moment is Atyanta Veda, Atyanta Bhinna, different from the second moment. So, even the Kshira Santanam and Dadi Santanam, both of them are Atyanta Bhinna, totally different. So if that two santatis which are totally exclusive of each other can become cause and effect, then why not Sikata or sand become the cause for the current? Tathacha Sikata Bhyopi Dadi Jayadeti Ati Prasanga. This is Ati Prasanga. Ati Prasanga means that it goes beyond your definition, boundary. Boundary is that cause alone can give us the effect. Here any cause can give us any effect. That means there is no boundary at all, there is no rule at all. So if you accept that each moment is totally distinct from the next moment, and still two distinct things can enjoy or have Karyakarana Sambandha, then two distinct entities such as the sand and curd can enjoy also the Karyakarana. Anything can have anything can be Karana for anything. That Ati Prasanga. Because then you can get mango also from a lemon seed, because you don't need any connection between them. So that fellow says, wait a minute. Prasiddhi avastambena ati prasanga parihara shanka tadiyam anudya. If that fellow says, no, prasiddhi, that for curd you necessarily go for milk, for a mango tree you necessarily go for mango seed, that's prasiddhi. Prasiddhi means what is commonly accepted, that also has to be accepted when you make arguments. Ati prasanga, therefore, this is a question of anything can becoming cause, anything is not right, because that vitiates against our normal experience. In normal experience, only specific things can become the cause of specific things. And therefore your conclusion that anything can become cause of anything it vitiates or contradicts the daily experience, therefore that argument cannot be. So says next line. So apeksha bhinnevi parasantani ishyatam sarvarthe kshanike kasmin tathapi anyanapekshata anyanapekshata sarvarthe kshanike सर्वस्य जनस्य अर्थे अर्थ्यमाने कार्यकारण भावेन स्थिते दधिक्षीराद वस्तुन क्षणिके भी कस्मिंश्चित् क्षीरे एव कस्यचित् दिद्न अपेक्षा न सर्वत्रेति लोक प्रसिद्धे न दि प्रसंगे इति चेत्. So this is the Purvapakshi places the argument. What is loka prasiddhi? Daily experience. Sarvasyarthe, sarvarthe is a word. So sarvasya arthe. Sarvasya means janat sarvasya janasya arthe. For all the people, arthe means arthyamane. So what normally people expect? What is karya karana bhavena sthite dikshiradav? So everybody accepts that kshira is the karanam for dadi. And therefore karya karana bhavena sthite. And therefore, Dadi and Kshira So both of them are karya karana bhava. That is how they are accepted in the day-to-day life. Dadi kshirada vastuni kshanikevi. So he argues, even though dadi also is kshanikam, kshiram also is kshanikam, tathapi kasmin chit kshire eva kasya chit dadna apeksha. Even though dadi is also momentary, kshiram also is momentary, but still, in some kshira or milk, there will be apeksha of some curd. Even though they are not connected, still, our day-to-day experience shows that it is in some milk that we have expectation of some curd. Kasmim sit kshire, in some kshira, kasrit dadnaha apeksha, there is the expectation of curd, some curd from some milk. If not a given milk and given curd, for curd you always reach out to some milk. Na sarvatra loka prasiddhe, and therefore for curd you just do not go anywhere, you go to some milk. If not this milk, that milk, some milk. For this curd, that curd, for a given curd, you go for a given milk and not to something else. This is what our day-to-day experience is. So you should take that into account also. And not come to a ridiculous conclusion that from sand also can make curd. If this is your argument, iti shanka anuvadartha, so sarvarthe kshanike kasmin. So this is the shanka. What shanka? That in Vyavahara we find that prasiddhi is that for a given curd you go to some milk. And therefore your conclusion that there is no boundary at all, no rule at all, that anything against anything, that contradicts the Vyavahara. Okay. Tathapi. So then kasmin sarvathe kshanike kasmin. That is the Purva Paksha. Tathapi anya anapekshata, even then. Tathapi prasiddhi ashranepi, even if you accept prasiddhi, to recognize all this stuff from this verse itself is so difficult. This, that this is Purva Paksha and this is the answer and what kind of... There is no prasiddhi, the verse does not mention anything like that. But in the verse, this is intended. Tathapi means what? Prasiddhi ashranepi. For us it is easy to understand. So all right, that you want to establish the cause-effect relationship based on what is commonly found, then also, kshanika paksha, as long as kshanikatvam is there, momentariness is there, anyanapeksha eva iti parihartha, then also anyanapeksha, then also there is no apeksha of another one. Now that is explained next one. So tatra hetumaha. So next verse is tulyakala samudbhutau itare yoginau yogacha samskruto yastu sonyam dikshitum arhati. Sonyam hikshitum arhati. Even then also that you reach out to a given some milk for some curd, that milk and curd should exist at the same time. That is expectation, isn't it? That milk must be there for the curd. In Kshanika the milk is not there and curd they are not there. So when they are not, they cannot coexist. Even if you say that, accepting the day-to-day experience, that you must reach out to a given cause for a given effect, then also that cause and effect should exist together for them to be connected by cause and effect. So, cause and effect calls for a connection. The connection calls for their being existing together. But each is momentary, they don't exist together. So it says, tulyakala samudbhut itaretar yoginau. Say, tika yoga bhava. तुल्यकाल समुद्भूतौ एकैकालेन लब्धात्मकौ two entities, jau bhava, two entities, tulyakala samudbhuta, meaning that they arise at the same time. Ekakala labdhatmaka, meaning that they exist at the same time. The milk to become the cause of curd, that milk, wherever it is, should exist when the curd is there. So to make curd, the milk must be there, present there, and then that milk must get connected. So when you curdle the milk or something like that, that karya karana bhava, so karya karana must exist at the same time. Then only you can enjoy karya karana bhava. Itare etar yogino paraspara sambandhau cha. Then they should be, yoga means sambandha. So they must be connected to each other. The curd, milk and curd must be connected to each other. It cannot be that yesterday the milk was there and today the curd is there and that milk can become the cause of this curd. Can't be. Or there is, curd today and there will be milk tomorrow. They cannot be connected to cause and effect. Regardless of what milk you reach out to, for what curd, they must coexist in the same place and same time. Not that the milk is in America and curd is in India or something like that. At same place, at same time, they must exist. Eka kalena labdhatmako. Itaretar yogino paraspara sambandhau. Not only they should exist at the same time, but the same place also, then they can be connected to each other. Yatha parjanyankaro. Just as the rain and the sprout. So only when the rain comes, the sprout then slowly can grow into a plant, etc. That can happen. Rain can become cause for the sprout to grow when the rain and sprout exist together. Not the rain comes in monsoon and sprout is in winter or something like that. That cannot be. Tayo madhye yastu bhava ankur lakshana parjanya yogat samskritascha. So then what happens is, how does the parjanya or the rain become the cause of the sprout? Is when the rain is able to convey or impart, rain imparts some samskara to that sprout. The sprout is there, does not come in contact with rain or water, then water can't implant samskara. Then only the sprout can grow when that yoga or association bring about some samskara. Toyo estu bhava ankur lakshana. That is one bhava. Ankura is the effect. Parjanya yogat. Parjanya means the cloud or the water, rain. Yogat samskritascha. Therefore, either you call it the sprout or call it seed also. The seed should come in contact with water. Then water can impart something extra to that, some samskara, so that seed results into a sprout. Otherwise, seed by itself will not become sprout. Rain by itself will not become sprout. When rain imparts something additional to that seed, then only the seed will result into a sprout. That's called samskara. So samskritascha means labdhati, some atishayata is there, some extra thing is there, some addition is there in the seed, then only the seed will turn into a sprout. Sahi khalu anyam upkarinam ikshitam apeksha. So he saha anyam yogacha samskrito yastu anyam saha anyam hi ikshitum arhati. Yogacha samskrito yastu. By association, a thing, the effect gets samskrita means when it imparts some specialty. When the rain or water can impart some specialty to the seed, then only the sprout can come. Or the rain can impart some special sprout, then it can grow. Anyami ikshitam arhati. Ikshitam means what? Apekshitam. Not ikshitam means seeing. Apekshitam arhati. Then only there is an apeksha. That anya means that the sprout can have an expectation for rain, provided they exist at the same time, and rain is able to impart some specialty, something excess to the sprout, then only the cause-effect relationship can be there. So prasiddhi is like this. Not only prasiddhi or common experiences that the milk give rise to curd, but the common experience is that milk must also impart something special to that curd, then only effect can be there. So curdle. So in the milk you add a little quantity of curd, then the curd can come out. It can't be milk is there and curd is here and then curd comes out. So there must be yoga. Association must be there. Not only that, but it also, you can't put curd into water and expect curd. So that samskara must be there, and therefore that curd must impart something special to the milk, or milk to the special, something to curd, then only curd can come out. So there is apeksha. The curd has an apeksha of milk. When milk and curd can coexist, when milk can impart some special thing to the curd, for the curd to come out. Just as the rain and the sprout should coexist, and there must be yoga, not only association of the two, in which case the rain can impart some specialty to the sprout for the sprout to grow. So we are explaining prasiddhi. What the Vedanta is saying is, you are right that there is prasiddhi. That for curd you always reach out to milk. So you can't say that anything can give rise to anything. So we say accept that only milk can give rise to curd. But when can it happen? When milk and curd, there is sanyoga. Ekakala labdhatmako, when milk and curd had the sanyoga, exist at the same time and get associated with each other, then one can impart the specialty to the other, then other can change into effect. In kshanikatvam this is not possible. In kshanikatvam, ekakala labdhatmakatvam, that being the same time, the same place is not possible because each one is changing every moment. So even though prasiddhi is there, we accept for sake of concession that you require milk for the curd. All right, sand will not bring us request, so we accept it because that's what the prasiddhi is. But what further prasiddhi? There is something further in that prasiddhi. Not only do people reach out for milk, for curd, but they have association of milk with that curd. And allow that to impart some samskara, otherwise curd is not made next day, It's not that you just because curdle that something comes out. It may not. Right? Amount of temperature, proper temperature must be there, length of time must be there, and then also people carry curd from India to America, to get a special kind of curd. Anyway, so prasiddhi is that you require milk as the cause for curd as the effect, but that also further requirement is that cause and effect must have a union, and so that one can impart some special samskara to the other one, then effect can come out. Now that is not possible if cause also is kshanikam, effect also is kshanikam. They cannot be in the same place and they cannot be in yoga. And therefore, even milk and curd being kshanika cannot enjoy the cause and effect relationship. Sai khalu anyupkaranam ikshitam apekshitam arhate na kshanikah. Tasa prasiddhi bhavat. Prasiddhi is there. That a steady cause gives rise to a steady effect. Not a momentary cause gives a momentary effect. That is not prasiddhi. Ataha kshanikānām bhinna kālataya paraspara sambandha bhāvena upakārya upakarakatva yoga. So there must be upakari upakarakatva sambandha. Upakaraka, that which helps. Upakari, that which helps. So between cause and effect there is the upakaraka upakarya sambandha. Milk is upakaraka. Curd is upakarya. Karana is upakaraka. Karya is upakarya. So that is where that relationship must exist, and that cannot be when both are momentary. Because milk has no opportunity to do any upkara upon curd because it's not there. Next moment milk is not there, then the curd is not there. Therefore, kshanikānām bhinna kālataya, Because what is momentarily, each moment exists at a time different from the other moment, bhinna kaladaya. So eka kalena labdhatmakata is not there, bhinna kaladaya. Paraspara sambandha bhavena, therefore the current sambandha, the connection with each other. Upakarya, upakarakatva yoga, therefore the relation of upakarya, upakaraka, of helping and being helped, reaching out, being reached, that cannot take place. Na apeksha ghataitum shakyate, and therefore even the apeksha, that curd has for milk, which you say happens in vyavahara, with kshanikatvam, that also can't be explained. Na apeksha ghataitum, ghatana means logically, you can't explain. With kshanikatvam, the requirement for karya cannot be established. Therefore, you cannot present even the prasiddhi as an argument for establishing the relation of cause and effect. When kshanikatvam is your reality, then this also cannot happen. So that is how the kshanika mata has been refuted in all these arguments. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.